Wonky time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Let me bring that in a bit. There we go. That's better. Welcome to Rich Living with Michelle House. That's me. I'm Michelle House. This is High Vibes at 5:55, and here we go. We're off to another week. And this week we've got full moon. We've got full moon happening tomorrow night, so that's Tuesday. Wherever you are in the world, you will see the same full moon that I see, and the full moon is all about releasing your intention and not having an attachment to the outcome, right? So one of my programs in the Rich Living Academy, called the Alchemy of Intention, we've spent the last 2 weeks, so since the new moon up until this week, we've spent the last 2 weeks going through a process of cleaning up, looking at, investigating, having gratitude for lots of focus points. So 7 particular focus points in our worlds to help us set our intention tomorrow and then release that intention out into the universe for it to manifest according to the universe's bigger plan. And I guess one of the things that I kind of go, but I want what I want, and I want it now. Does anybody else do that? I want it now, and I want this, and I want that, and I want it now. Now, please. Now I want it. Why haven't I got it yet? Why haven't I got it yet? Why haven't I got it yet? And I wanted to share a little story with you. I was sharing with some girlfriends on Friday about how, when I was very young, when I was 19, I was very focused on a particular outcome for something. It had a deadline. It had, so there was a goal. There was do this by this date. And what it was I was actually, I don't know if you know this about me, something you don't know about me. It was actually about a quest. So I was in this quest called the Logan City Community Queen Quest, 1991. And the objective, I guess, was to raise funds for the new Logan City Hospital, which at that time was just one building. There'd only been one building built, which was the little reception area, and I think an emergency ward perhaps. Anyway, so I think my mum thought it was a great way for a 19-year-old to occupy her time. And I was enrolled into that with, I think, maybe 8 or 9 other teenage girls who were all very stunning and very beautiful. And I kind of made up my mind at that moment when I met them all, well, I'm going to go really hard for the title of Charity Queen. And Charity Queen, was obviously the person who raised the most money, won that glorious title of Charity Queen. So off we set to do fundraising, and my gosh, we fundraised our butts off. That was back in the day when you were allowed to hold the little tins of money at the traffic lights, and people would put money in from their cars. That was our biggest, most successful. I think we raised $3,000 in 3 hours or something. It was ridiculously great, and fun. Anyway, months went on, events happened, movie premieres, selling donuts or lamingtons, I don't know, whatever it was, but we were fundraising this whole time. My objective was I was going to win this Charity Queen. So I had to raise this certain amount of money by this date, which is what most of us do in our lives, right? We want to raise a certain amount of money by a certain date because we want to pay off our credit card, or we want to have a holiday, or whatever. So I'm deadly focused on this end game. I will have this. I will have the most money. Did a newspaper article about it, all that kind. That was actually my first media thing. Would have been that. Anyway. The night comes around, we put on our pretty frocks. Even though it was 1991, we still had 1980s hair. I'll have to find a photo and show you. And burgundy dress. Burgundy was the colour. Anyway, standing up on the stage, I was so sure I was going to win. Because I was watching what the other girls were doing and observing other people and keeping my mind... looking at what other people are doing instead of focusing on what I needed to do. So I would look and see, oh, well, they're not doing as much as I'm doing. Surely I'm going to win this. I can see that they're not working. I don't think she's done anything. I think I've worked the hardest, blah, 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 blah. Standing on the stage, so determined I was going to win. I'm not kidding you. I was so determined that it was going to be me. Anyway, so they announced, it went in this order: runner-up charity, charity queen, community queen. So they announced runner-up charity, and, you know, I kind of wasn't listening because it was runner-up. I knew that wasn't going to be me. So they go, da, 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 and the 1991 Logan City Community runner-up, whatever, champion of the world is Michelle. And I didn't kind of hear it. And then I went, yeah, I think they said Michelle. I think I'm the only Michelle. Hang on, but they said runner-up. So my brain was doing this whole thing. I remember this as clear as day, 19, nearly 30 years ago. And I'm going, that wasn't, hang on, oh. And I'm kind of awkwardly walking up and going, thank you. My brain having conniptions going, how is it possible that I am runner-up charity queen? and who won? Oh my God, nobody did as much work as I did. I worked really hard, da-da-da-da. Anyway, and I know you're probably listening to this and you're going, oh my God, Michelle, this is the side of you we didn't know. Far out, man. I was 19 and I was going to win. It was the most competitive I've ever been about anything in my life, I think. Anyway, the charity queen was announced, and I just watched her. She raised double the amount of money that I did. I raised $7,000. She raised 15. I was a little bit devastated and having a little bit of a devastation mini meltdown on the stage in front of an audience of people eating dinner at their dinner tables, and the lights and the you know, on stage with the MC, and Miss Australia was there, and like blah. Anyway, so I'm having this little mini meltdown in my head, being very polite and graceful on the stage. Oh, far out. One of the other things we had to do for part of the quest was we were interviewed by a panel. So we were interviewed by Miss Australia, the general manager of Maya, because Maya was one of the big sponsors, and there was somebody else maybe from the council, the Logan City Council. And we were given a booklet, and we had to read the booklet. I couldn't read the booklet. I was too busy fundraising. I didn't read the booklet. So we had to sit and answer this panel of questions. And one of their first questions was, who is the Lord Mayor of Logan City? And my stomach just did a little bit of a dive, and it went, I don't know, but I know his wife, and she tells me that he's doing a really good job. So I was a little bit cheeky, but I was also really honest that I didn't know the answer. And actually they asked me about 3 or 4 questions before I said, if you're going to keep asking me questions from the book, I don't know the answers. I'm really sorry. Maybe we could talk about something else. And it was in that moment that I didn't do it for any other reason other than I don't know the answers and I don't want to waste your time. But in that moment, what they saw was an honest person, right? And another part of me was very despondent about that whole process because I knew I wasn't going to win Community Queen because I wasn't smart and I wasn't pretty enough. So I kind of put that across to the side and just went on the other one. Anyway, back to the stage. So we're standing up on the stage and they announced charity. I'm having my little mini meltdown about, oh my God, how could she have got so much money, blah, blah, blah. And then the MC announces, dun, da, da, and the Community Queen is Michelle. And I'm still having my mini meltdown in my head going, how's that possible? But we did this and we did that. They had to come over. One of the girls tapped me on the shoulder and she said, Michelle, that's you. The MC had to come over and escort me out of the line and take me up to the microphone because I wasn't listening. Now, this story is so many lifetime lessons that I learnt and continue to learn every time I tell the story. So I'm standing there as runner-up Community Queen. I'll have to send you the photo, in complete and utter shock of, oh my God, it was me. Then you can imagine the emotions that come in is guilt, you selfish little cow, the surprise, obviously, and then all of these other like floods of emotions, which is why I was in such shock about it. I can't believe it. What do you mean? I think you've said the wrong name. She's way more prettier than I am. She's way more smarter and she's a little bit older, so she's a bit more wiser. All of that stuff started to rush in. So in these precious minutes of, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes, I ripped myself off from so much joy. I wasn't in the present moment. I wasn't experiencing that amazing thing. Not everybody gets to stand up on stage and be acknowledged for the work that they've done and the contribution they've made to a community. And I spent my time, and I'm not being hard on that 19-year-old girl, she kind of didn't know any better. But it was a great lesson for me as an adult to look back on and to go, you know what? When you're not present, you miss out. When you are so focused on the outcome, you miss out. You know, I was so focused on this outcome that I actually didn't experience the joy as fully as I could have experienced it. You know, all of the fundraising efforts became, how much money are we going to make? How fast am I going to get there? Rather than, isn't this fun? So there's another story on the end of that about the hospital. So and this is where I want to say to you, you know, tomorrow night when I know the group of the Alchemy of Intention, the Rich Living Academy group, will be releasing their intentions out to the universe, and they will manifest when they manifest. The universe is holding your hand and has a much grander plan for what's going on. Little did I know that the universe had me win runner-up charity so that my money would purchase a piece of equipment, a certain piece of equipment for the hospital. So if I had won and raised the 15,000, it would have been a certain piece of equipment. But because I was 7,000, I was able to buy the defibrillator for the very first defibrillator for the Logan Hospital. 12 months later, my dad had a heart attack and we lived in Logan. And it was that defibrillator that saved his life. So what I'm saying to you is we have to relax about the outcome. We don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen. We need to keep doing the work and doing the work from a place of service and doing the work from a place of how, you know, back then, how am I serving my community? How am I contributing? What am I offering? And detaching ourselves from what we think it's going to look like, because the universe has a grander plan. Keep doing the work and keep taking the actions, for sure. For sure, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. But don't get so fixed on the outcome that you limit the possibilities. Your mind becomes so set on this is what it's going to look like and this is the road that I'm taking. You close off all the possibilities that can come in and that can change your life and that can keep upgrading your life and that can keep evolving and elevating you in your life. Yeah, that was a pretty big high vibes for this morning. But that'll get your week off to a good start. Hopefully it'll help you with your intention setting under the full moon, if that's what you're choosing to do this cycle. Beautiful full moon to be releasing that kind of energy into. What am I doing today? This full moon has had a lot of support around finances and money. So we've just yesterday done a massive clean out of files that we've had since 2002, because we've had them in storage and we kind of just went, they're in storage, but we actually don't need them anymore. So old business stuff, old money stuff, all old stagnant money stuff we were able to get rid of yesterday. Please, everybody, keep 5 years worth of records in Australia. Please, and insert disclaimer, check your country here. So that we've only got the 5 years worth of records, and you know, doing a big cleaner of systems and processes. That's what I'm doing today, is making sure that our new accounting process that we have is working and that it's efficient and that our customers are satisfied and that we're satisfied. So great energy to be doing that today, sorting out your insurances, creating your will, whatever it is around money that you need to sort out that you've been putting off. Maybe have a look at that for the next 2 days, because you have the support of the universe and this one moon. There's plenty of moons out there, but we've got one moon that we can tap into. So why don't you tap into it and see what happens? Have a beautiful day, guys. I will see you tomorrow for High Vibes at 5:55. When I hit the finish button.